Live. This is the market update, the Gold Retriever private webinar. I'm your host, Bill Noble. For the best research in the business, stay with the Gold Retriever Telegram group. We have gone from nothing to say, as in like take an hour lunch and a nap, to everything to say about this market. And like literally everything, like war and peace level content. Okay. Let's welcome who's here. Sydney Oss, are the Chinese still selling gold? I would say no. I would say no. The price action in silver would indicate that even if they are selling gold, people are buying silver instead. Okay. Pancakes and Peanut Butter wants to know what happened in the bond market. I'll take a look at that. All right. Rudy is here, right? Somebody wants to talk about the universe. We'll get Rudy and Jasmine sorted out. Yes, I do have BitBoy stuff I can talk about. BitBoy, somebody wants to know, is BitBoy going to jail? I don't think anybody is going to jail there. Richard Barry is here. What's up? All right. Now, let's go to news. Let's do that. Okay, so we should talk about BitBoy because I think this does have a huge impact. This could have a huge impact, and I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. BitBoy is the poster boy from the last cycle, right? He took research from Token Metrics, totally legit, used the platform, came up with ideas about coins, did videos on the coins, and the coins moved. Right? I mean, that's how he got huge. He just rode this monster wave. Now, wouldn't it be absolutely unbelievable if the attempted assassination of BitBoy turns out to mark the absolute end of the bear market? Like, nobody has thought about this, right? If you've killed everything from the last cycle, including BitBoy, what's left? NFTs went to zero, right? Ben Armstrong gone. Now, let's just try and talk about this for a second because this actually matters, like if he's out, I think. So BitBoy is essentially saying that, the claims are 100% false, okay? They claimed emotional, physical, and financial damage, okay? I don't think the financial damage was BitBoy. Emotional damage could have been, and physical could have been an argument, right? Because according to BitBoy, like I heard a voice recording last night, they've been trying to get him out possibly for a while, right? So there's been an undertow of internal politics that weren't going his way. Now, it's somewhere here in the article. BitBoy is saying, that he used steroids, which is really kind of funny. I don't know what the need is for that. And he said that the jitters were from a diet pill prescribed by a doctor. So I believe BitBoy was taking a diet pill because he's got to wear all that designer Gucci stuff and wear all those clothes. So I'm sure there's a clause in there about what his weight's got to be in order for him to wear the clothes and keep the sponsorship deal. Okay, but I'm just not sure what doctor would prescribe a guy with an addiction problem a controlled diet pill when you can get that shit off the shelf at Walmart. But who knows? I'm not a doctor. So BitBoy is saying that he absolutely did not relapse on hard drugs. That's totally believable because I sat next to the guy at a dinner when he told the story about what happened the first time when he wound up in breaking police officer's arm. I mean, winding up in a facility where they wouldn't even let him watch television for an extended period of time. Right. And I think a lot of guys that work in BitBoy's organization come out of the same facility and he uses it to help him get jobs, or he met him while he was in there. So I have no idea why anybody thinks that this guy would just randomly relapse unless he's worried about the government coming after him. like the way the government came after Richard Hart, which could also be a reason why his partners are trying to force him out. I don't know. All I know is if you kill, there's two sides to the story, right? If they took legal action to get him out, they must have had something. But I kind of agree with BitBoy. It could not have possibly been that bad. And it's going to result in massive lawsuits and probably BitBoy just turning on the camera out of his house. And, you know, the sponsors are going to all go with BitBoy. So I don't know what the other guys were thinking, but that's what's going on. From a TA point of view, if you've killed BitBoy, it's the bottom. It's the bottom. It's that simple. And I may go on a market update tomorrow and say that. Period. Right? And people may not like him. JB's here from SoCal. Welcome. Coffee farts. Good morning. Okay. So now into the market. So the Bark token is moving. We haven't had a chance to do TA on anything in our group for a while. I don't think we're doing ourselves any favors by mooning this token prior to the liquidity pool. But if they do, 0.066 could be a stopping point. Switzerland's legacy of financial freedom makes it the best place for Bitcoin to thrive. Makes perfect sense to me. Swiss franc was a marquee fiat currency and would be if the Swiss National Bank wasn't a hedge fund, like for real. Millions of Brits told not to heat homes at night as part of net zero climate goals. You know, folks, I come on this stream and you almost look at me like I'm out of my mind. Is the United States of America, are the G7 countries governable anymore? And if they are, who's in charge? Like, it's like the blatant way that they're imposing their agenda. I mean, these people can't afford food. This is not about climate goals. This might be about their energy policy. But at least they could tell people the truth and not tell them it's about climate. I mean, we're talking about England here. We're not talking about some backwards ass country. You know, they're like our number one ally on the planet. And they're doing this stuff. How long is it going to be before we start doing this stuff? Okay, so what's up with Bitcoin? Rudy said Russia is not looking too bad anymore. Yeah, that's pretty sad. When you might have less communism in communist countries, I still wouldn't go over there because they could put you in jail for saying anything. Here, at least you can get a lawyer. Rudy says Texas is the last stronghold of the world. I agree, even though I live in Hippieville, Austin, Texas. I'll take that over New York City. Bitcoin faces uncertain September. Okay, September is normally not a good month for Bitcoin. Thing is, I think we've already done the boring trade. Okay. The Fuzz Crypto wants to know, when am I doing TA classes? I would love to learn charting basics. Okay. Something like that is coming soon. And it's going to be pretty radical. So don't go anywhere. Okay. So Bitcoin has bored everyone to death for so long. I think that constitutes a decline in September. The Fed may hike rates again. I think that's a huge mistake. We'll do that again in the PowerPoint, but they have to do what they have to do. They basically guarantee that the banking system breaks. So could Bitcoin range in September? Yes. But I think the definition of a down September is a range, because the safe haven mechanisms are not functioning in the market, right? Like equities are ridiculous. Bonds may have bottomed, but I don't know who's in a big hurry to buy bonds. I don't. So if bonds, meh. If stocks, meh. If gold is okay, but I think it's Bitcoin, silver, and ETH. Like it's happening right now. And don't doubt that something stupid couldn't happen in Bitcoin over Labor Day. Because remember, crypto market loves to do wild, crazy stuff. Wild, crazy stuff. Okay. Bitcoin Cash is up 17% after Grayscale. So Grayscale stock, we'll go over that. Okay. Everything associated with Bitcoin goes to the moon. It makes perfect sense. right? Because Bitcoin is going to be free to trade on just about every exchange. No one's going to be able to stop it. No one's going to want to stop it. People are going to want to trade Bitcoin. So, you know, the Bitcoin Cashes of the world, when Bitcoin Cash moves, it's kind of like a face melter. Okay. You know, Bitcoin gets a boost, but everyone's bearish, pulling $149 million from Bitcoin funds. Good. No one believes it. It's exactly what you need at a bottom. Everybody sells the first uptake. When you have a bear market and it turns into a bull market, everyone's like, oh, I got to sell. Oh, look, it's a rally. I can get out. And then it just goes. Everybody sells the first uptick. Coinbase stock rips. Kathy Wood lightened up on her Coinbase holdings for fear of regulators. So guess what? She'll have to buy back in. What's good for Grayscale and Bitcoin ETFs could be great for Coinbase. Right. After everybody sold. GBTC discount may be gone by 2024. So GBTC is a trust. It's like a stock. It's not an ETF. GBTC, because no one kind of likes it. People kind of gave up on it, even though it was like an OG equity market trading product for Bitcoin. It actually trades at a dramatically lower price than the total amount of Bitcoin that's in the fund. Because people just are like, I don't like the product. It was trading 40, like the equivalent price of Bitcoin by looking at GBTC is like 18K. Or it was in June, and I'm going to show you the chart later. So GBTC catching up is a truly unbelievable win. A truly unbelievable win. Okay? BlockFi wants the court to convert trade-only positions into stablecoins. SEC's first deadline for 7 Bitcoin ETFs is coming up fast. I think that is BTFD, or the SEC just admits we have to approve it and they don't fight it anymore. I think if they delay it, it's going to go up more than if they approve it. If they approve it, it might be a sell the fact thing. If they don't approve it, it's just going to be a bigger rally later. So Grayscale clears major hurdle. We did that. Okay. Crypto lawyer about SEC. Problematic to imply all NFTs are securities. People, I don't see how they can declare art and collectibles as securities, but if you had something like Azuki that was promising like licensing for streetwear, and then that was going to go back to the NFT holders, yeah, that's a security. Okay, now just a reminder, art is not a security, and Tobie Ward from Unhinged Crypto is into fine art, and that is up on OpenSea. Tobie_Ward. Give a new artist a chance who's helping you with crypto. All right, SEC is enforcement action on NFTs. So they got impact theory, whatever, right? It's a token thing to try to scare everybody out of crypto. The art market is fine and actually thriving in the NFT world. Tobie's got a big painting going on that I see off something she did in Midjourney. Art as a market is fine, right? And Gensler is trying to kill, he's shooting a dead horse. He's trying to shoot an ETF market that's already dead. Will crypto ever be rid of influencers like BitBoy? Okay, well, I don't know. Let's put it this way. The world needs analysts, not shock jocks. That's what the world's going to need. Now, you don't believe me? Wait till this eclipse in October. Trust me. We're going to need analysts. I've always thought that. You know, I got 4K subscribers. I got you guys. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. These guys with millions of followers because, you know, they called a couple altcoins. Yeah, that's great. Now, of course, I would love to have millions of followers because I would like to be able to provide people with like Get to the Chopper or Sheepdog or just, you know, get people in and get people out in a timely manner. So is everything from the last cycle going to work in the next cycle? I don't know. Did this guy deserve to get railroaded out of his company? I don't know, man. If he needed to leave, I'm sure there was a way to do it without a public debacle. Then again, I would have said the same thing when I had a jet from Token Metrics. There is a way to do this without creating a public calamity. They just didn't do it. An open letter to President Biden about Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining could be a key component of the administration's plans to expand renewables and upgrade. I mean, who's getting to renewables faster than we are? Nobody. Nobody. And it's not all battery powered. I don't get it. Okay, so Grayscale ruling does not guarantee a spot Bitcoin ETF. You're right, it doesn't. Gensler can just be Gensler. And who would be surprised? It just sets up a bigger rally later. I hope they don't approve it. I hope they don't approve it. I hope they have to go to court and have the court force them to do it. Because it just gives people more time to load up on Bitcoin. I swear to God. You won't have to deal with sell the fact, because if they get sell the fact, BlackRock's going to be down there hoovering it up. I'm telling you. The big institutions have to buy every dip. That's a high conviction call, right? On the dip to 27 something, I bought some Bitcoin myself. Okay, so one guy says Grayscale victory, says SEC will. SEC will, SEC won't. Back and forth, back and forth. No one thinking about the market. And everybody forgetting about Elon. Doge did rally. Doge did, I mean, it did, but it didn't really do anything. It's going to be all about Bitcoin, all about ETH, and I think it's going to be a PayPal shocker. This PayPal stablecoin may wind up on Twitter. It may wind up on Twitter. Let's go to PowerPoint. How do I stop the share? Okay. All right, moving into PowerPoint. Okay, Bark, 6 cents possible, right? Obviously a case of the bigger the base, the higher in the space. Hopefully not before they launch a new token, but you never know what people can do. You never know. Okay, back to Bitcoin. So GBTC is this trust that trades in the equity market. Personally, I think MicroStrategy is the better product, but there's equally explosive formations. In MicroStrategy, there's a diamond. Try to remind me, I'll pull that up. Okay, but just in Hong Kong approves Bitcoin. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have a 70% chance of being approved. This is a very powerful formation with the head and shoulders bottom with an upward sloping neckline. It's pretty rare. But if GBTC does not go back down, the target is 50. That's the 2021 high. 50 is the target of this formation. So if Grayscale doesn't go back below 20, it could go to 50. So, I mean, I was like, let's be involved. Yeah, we got stopped out. Yeah, they tried to force you out like 3 times. We'll look into that. So here's the GBTC discount. So here's how this works, right? You can have a stock that holds an asset, like say real estate, but the market can go, oh my God, this real estate's not worth what they think it's worth, or this stock's just terrible, or I hate the company that runs it. And they could smash the stock below what the stock is theoretically worth. The market nerd terms is discount or premium to NAV or net asset value. So they either hate it and discount it to the value, or they love it so much that it trades at a premium. So in late June, GBTC was at like a 40% discount. It was at a 50% discount in January. Okay. This was before yesterday's rally is 17%, and GBTC is going to be worth exactly what it has in its portfolio. They have like 500,000 Bitcoin. The only way to get the amount of Bitcoin that you're going to need to do the ETF is to take over Grayscale. I've been saying this, like you have to buy a company to get the amount of Bitcoin that you're actually going to need. Because once BlackRock's going to go onto the exchange, and these guys have to go onto exchanges, you're going to be at 60K, like immediately. And people think that Bitcoin is like, oh, that's like a boomer crypto. It can't happen. Oh, yeah? Well, you better check the price history of Bitcoin. You got a super blue full moon tonight, which can result in heightened emotions, which you could have had yesterday, right? But you got to be careful with this. Yeah, there's a lot of planetary stuff going on, and people could get really freaking emotional, like really emotional. You know, they could get emotional if China blows up. They could get emotional if this Bitcoin thing starts running and everyone's like, man, I don't have to buy it. I bought anything below 28. We'll see. They can come get me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I still continue to believe running the risk of getting stopped out Okay. Tobie, art, you know, you have bulls, you have pretty creatures with amazing color schemes. Do it before ETH goes to 3,000, please. Okay, back to BitBoy. Okay, according to Mind Your Biz, Ben still has a majority stake in his company, right? You know, he didn't get informed before they announced it. There were no acts of impropriety in Denver, as they allude, and Ben is saying it's a coup. Allegations of rehab, drug relapse are not true. And he was taking diet pills. Honestly, when you kill BitBoy, you've killed everything from the last cycle, and that's a low. And I'm going on YouTube and I'm saying that. Okay, let's talk about stocks. So stocks are bullshit. They should go down. And I went on and on and on and on the Monday Twitter space about how stocks should go down. And then somebody sends me this. Okay. So this is got to do with put volume, right? Put volume and call volume. And obviously people over here about China, they're buying a whole bunch of puts. Okay. And they did the same thing around COVID. It's like they're very similar. Oh my God. Now this is kind of a cherry picked example, I think, but if everyone short stocks, they won't go down. So if the world has to reflect the new reality of the disaster that it is, it means crypto up. It means crypto up. Like I thought that was an outside the box theory. Now it's an inside the box theory. If everyone short stocks and bonds and they don't go down, crypto has to go up. Meanwhile, monetary policy has become highly restrictive, as restricted as it was in the late 80s. Okay. So how far can they tighten? You know, long-term interest rates have to go up, I think, and I think they may be done going up. Because I think the economy is about to fall out of bed because every single number that the Biden administration gives you is a total lie. Okay. Is a total lie. Okay. Bark, we talked about 0.06. Okay. Bitcoin, major reversal happening here. So we have a 9 bottom, then the trend tries to restart. It fails. It's like a failed decline. Okay. Bitcoin, I have support at 27.1. Upside is 32. So if 27.1 holds, you can hold out for 28.8 or 32.3. Okay. Litecoin, possible failed bottom, but I do like this highlighted stochastic region. Okay. I do like the stochastic region, meaning on DeMark. Okay. This highlighted area would indicate that DeMark work is saying this is a bottom. So I don't highlight this. The DeMark work does. So really interested to see if anybody wants to, like, beyond Bitcoin Cash, whether or not this Bitcoin thing has legs. Okay. ETH. Okay. This is outside the box. This is Jesse Livermore. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Jesse Livermore had an accumulation cone. Okay. Basically, a market would go in a sideways consolidation. It might even look like a bear flag, and then it would launch itself. So this is not perfect. Like, you overshot the line here, you undershot the line here. I don't know if this is an accumulation cone, but I do know that if ETH does not go back down again, right? In other words, if there is now a floor underneath crypto, this is going to be my eclipse line, right? If there is an organic floor underneath crypto, even if there are these lurches off equities or off whatever consternation is coming, there's going to be an organic buyer for Bitcoin and ETH. And I think that could eventually turn around and be a big rally. Like, look at this in ETH. 13 bottom, right? You had the highlighted area. You know, this was actually a warning about a decline. It's kind of fooled me. But it's like these things warn of bigger movement, right? And then it turns around and goes up. This number one here gives you a confirmed 13 bottom. So a confirmed 13 bottom. Okay, let me stop. Rudy's looking at Jasmine. Let me do that along with MicroStrategy before I forget. let's go to Jasmine. Okay, so do hidden pivot analysis on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so I guess the good news is Jasmine went past resistance there. Sharing the wrong screen. Thank you for that. Okay. All right, so maybe we're going to go to DeMark on Jasmine. Okay, so Jasmine did come off support, retest it. That seems good to me. I think over the next 2 days, the way this DeMark work, if and most altcoins look like this, by the way. Okay, if it doesn't fall out of bed, it can hold. Now, somebody's asking about what about a black swan in September? You know, the China thing is going to rear its ugly head at some point. The question is, you know, what's the ripple effect? My suggestion is that it's probably bigger than anybody thinks here. My guess is U.S. banks. My guess is U.S. banks, right? I don't know what banks are doing this morning. Let's check it out. And I want to get over to MicroStrategy. So, you know, DFS has support at 87.67. If that gives out, then you're going to have a much broader down move. You know, Capital One, I don't know. I mean, I look at this. I mean, there's obviously a lot of levels to break through here, but, you know, there's probably going to be an attack of 100. That's how I would do it. And then you come back over here to MicroStrategy, right? You go to a weekly chart. I mean, this, you can't draw this any better. You have a diamond, you have a breakout of the diamond, you have a return to the 38% retracement, okay? And the target of the diamond should be this distance from the point of the breakout, right? That's basically 923. That's essentially the high uptick from November of 2021. It's like GBTC, right? It goes back to wherever it was in November. And I don't know how you stop that. Like, okay, China blows up, equities go down. Let's look at what's going on in bonds. Okay, something is definitely wrong with bonds. So, oh, it was there and then it's not. Okay, right. Rudy is saying that China could be Enron all over again. Let's just look at the interest rate on the 10-year. Okay. Sorry about this. It brings up ZB on another chart. Okay. So what did the 5-year note yield do? Well, there was a triangle. And let's see how far it got. Did it travel the prescribed distance? It kind of came up short. Sometimes these triangles, you got to draw the minimum distance. So instead of drawing it from here, you draw it from the skinny part and you check it out. And there's the 5-year note hitting its target, like to the number. So I thought it was higher and it turned out to be lower. And wouldn't it be funny if it was a bottom in bonds? A bottom in bonds and a top in interest rates, because something's going to happen in China. All the more reason for Bitcoin to just smoke to the upside. Just smoke to the upside, man. Okay. So bull runners on a call, you know, having a tough day. I get it. You know, my heart goes out to you. You know, it's really, really, really hard out there. You know, when I talk to Tobie, I'm on a call with Tobie, and she says, we talk about, is the economy going into a recession? She just looks at me and goes, man, we've been in a recession for a long time. People have been suffering, F what the data says, right? People are hurt. Okay. So with that, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So ETH 13 bottom. ETH had resistance at 1743 and it came off. I'm okay with that. It's good if it comes off, because then you get an opportunity to get in. XRP, next big down move is the 13 bottom. We did not put this in our portfolio. It's not performing. But if you have a 13 bottom and you have this down here, you could get a reversal in XRP. You just may have one. People may have to just finally give up. Cosmos, people have been giving up for a month and a half. And, when it's going the other way, unless it falls out of bed, you buy the dip on the 3 or the 4 on the way up to 9. So I'm willing to buy the dip on the 3 and the 4. This is a portfolio allocation. I own it along with Litecoin, Polkadot, Solana, Hedera, Algorand, Litecoin, Zcash. Okay. Same thing in Cosmos, right? On a 4-hour chart. You have resistance. Okay. You don't buy a resistance, people sell. But if it doesn't back off resistance, it can turn around and go up. I do not understand how you can have the AI FOMO in equities and have nobody consider Web3. I just don't understand it, right? I just think they could just quietly allocate money from equities over to crypto. The black swan could be a white swan. It could be just a quiet mass allocation to crypto. Because again, what's Gensler going to do? Shut down the art market? Shut down Bitcoin? He's trying to get judges to legislate from the bench, and they're not going to do it. Congress has to do it. Congress passes law. Even his own organization has to pass laws or pass regulations. They're trying to get courts to do it. They're not doing it. Okay, Solana has to be above 2145. Solana's been doing a dance around this diagonal line. Something definitive has to happen here. Otherwise, maybe venture capitalists are selling it. Like Doge, I think with Elon, yeah, I know it looks good in terms of this like nice candle you had here, but there's resistance up here just below 7 cents. So I'm not opposed to buying dips, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like this is what Elon's going to use if it comes down to it. Okay. I'm also wondering about a major DeMark reversal in Cardano. If there was an update over the next, say, 2 days in Cardano, maybe you could consider the type of reversal in that coin that you had in other coins. If not, Cardano is going to continue to, frankly, suck, right? It's just going to have to deal with the fact that ETH is probably going to eat everyone's lunch. But if they turn this around, they can turn it around. There's some hope. Okay, GLD. This looks like a major weekly reversal. This is gold in the equity market because this is like you have a 9 bottom, the trend restarts, right? And then it fails and it goes up. So this looks like a reversal. Now, the big question is on a 90-minute chart, you have a 13 and a 9 top because you've had a nice rally. 180.67 in GLD is going to matter. So if there is a next rally in gold, gold is defying bearish signals. If gold comes off, well, I guess it comes off. But if gold bursts through, in answer to the earlier question, are the Chinese selling? The answer would be no. Or if they are, they're done. Or if they are, the buyers are taking it from them. But you don't know that until it breaks out. With these signals, you probably get a pause. I'm still in favor of buying dips because if you blow through this, it's going to be gone. It's just going to be gone. It's going to be like silver, right? I continue to think this Elliott wave move, silver rallied off COVID and then bored everybody to death for 3 years. Then it went up and then bored everybody to death for 6 or 7 months. They're just going to bore you out of the trade and then it's going to go based on this Elliott wave work. Impulsive part of an emotional up move. That's what's coming in silver. But of course, they're going to make you wait, which is what they do. They stop you out. They bore you. Everyone's like, oh my God, how, I should have been on that move. Yeah. Jesse Livermore says, and Buffett says this too, that most of your money isn't made by trading. Most of your money is made by waiting. You just wait. I know a guy who was long GBTC. He was long GBTC out the wazoo, short Bitcoin against it, because GBTC should not have been trading 40% below what it's worth. Just sat there with it for years, right? Silver, same thing. ETH, okay. Maybe they bore us to death in September, right? Everybody's afraid of September. Okay, I kind of pioneered Rectember and maybe Rocktober, and there's going to be an eclipse. But you got to remember, off the eclipse in April, Bitcoin went straight up into the eclipse. It went straight up. Straight up. So something to keep in mind there. Now, again, ZB, before the chart broke, ZB could have gotten to its target price at 116.19. Conceivably, that could have been the bottom in bonds, because rates have got nowhere to go but down because of what's going on in China. And if the Fed hikes rates, it just makes long-term rates go down even more, right? Because they're going to crush the economy if they haven't already, or the banks, okay? Equities. So this is way outside the box. It's kind of like the inverse of the GBTC head and shoulders, right? You've got a head and shoulders top with a downward sloping neckline. Normally not what you would see. Okay. Maybe I can redraw this. So it is inside the box. This is a part of TA. Some people like it, don't like it, but it's the way it is. Sometimes you just have to kind of draw. You know, first of all, what did they do to shorts over here? Just in case you're wondering, right? Okay, they kill it, they spike it, they kill it, the shorts come back in, and then they rip it, and they stop all these people out and all these people out. Everybody, stopped everybody out. Equity market loves doing that kind of stuff before it just crashes. So, again, this is the biggest risk to crypto. Something happens, Chinese banks, and boom, something happens to equities. So maybe this isn't so outside the box. Maybe this is traditional because they did this last spike. I mean, this looks like head and shoulders top to me. So this is the biggest risk to crypto, is that this just gets totally wasted, which is probably why everybody is in such a big hurry to buy bonds, because this theoretically should go lower. And if it doesn't, then crypto just moves harder, right? So you should unwind everything that's happened here since May. And, if that creates a dip in Bitcoin, then you should be down there hoovering it up, in my opinion. Okay. It's as simple as that. Okay. Sydney Oss notes that physical silver has a huge markup. Yeah. I mean, people were panicking, back with Silicon Valley Bank, like rich people were trying to get their money out of the banking system at any price. They're probably still going to continue to do that. Okay. Because losing 30 or 40%, if you have to puke out your silver, is better than having your money disappear in banks. Because, who knows if the Fed can actually print the money to guarantee it. I get it. But, I'm not opposed to gold or silver. I'm not opposed to physical gold or silver. But I think being diversified, including owning crypto, just makes so much sense, particularly with that MicroStrategy chart. I mean, the GBTC thing is outside the box, but the MicroStrategy chart, I mean, this is freaking real. You got a head and shoulders top in S&P, and you got a diamond bottom with a confirmed retest. I mean, this is a confirmed pattern for $900. Okay. So I'm not afraid to be involved. I think there's going to be a floor underneath crypto. I'm sure they're going to continue to try to slam it lower if equities get smacked. Then again, maybe not. The Bitcoin ETF is eventual. The Grayscale ruling means that big institutions can start buying it now. So they're going to BTFD any chance they can. So try not to puke out your crypto to them if you can help it. Okay. And if they've killed Ben Armstrong, they've killed everything from the last cycle, and there's nothing left to kill, which means it's a bottom. I'm Bill Noble. We'll see you next week.